Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Alpha Pro Series number 78 Elite Edition. As you can probably tell by the title here, it's going to be a great series. I know I say that about every single Pro Series, but this time I really mean it. We have one of the strongest players recently in one of his strongest forms yet. We have Classic, the Protoss, against historically what may be considered the greatest StarCraft 2 player of all time. And by what, I don't mean who, I literally mean what, because guy's a robot. It is INnoVation. Should be in for a great series. Joining me, it's going to be Grant here. So it is going to be a swag grant co-cast? I think that sounds good.
Swag grant? Yeah, we've got it.
Like vagrant, you know? A swagrant co-cast.
Oh, Grant? I like it. Swagrant. I like it. How you doing, guys? Welcome. As Swag so elegantly said, this is the Alpha Pro Series number 76. And this is, in my opinion, the biggest one they've ever done. The best. I mean, INnoVation right now is in unbelievable form. He's really starting to recapture some of that innovation from 2 years ago. And Classic just won the Super Tournament. Classic is the best Protoss in the world right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's all a matchup that really can go either way. Maybe some of the Terrans would disagree with me, and I'm sorry. But this is going to be absolutely unbelievable. I've hardly slept.
Yeah, speaking of hardly sleeping, it is currently 3. Oh, MK needs to be invited. Oh, what a goof. Here we go. Yeah, I've got like 1 hour of sleep to prepare for this. So guys, please bear with me as I do incredibly stupid things for the next 2.5 hours, possibly 3. And when I say 2.5 hours, possibly 3, I really mean that, because we are. I think most people would agree that Classic versus INnoVation, we're almost for certain, in case, excluding one person just being terribly out of form today, we're gonna go 5-4, 5-3 at the very least. What do you think?
I agree. Grant? I definitely think 8 or 9 games. Have you decided in your head who you think is going to win? Should we do our predictions? Do you want to risk it?
My heart just is wrapping around Classic right now. As a Protoss player, you gotta love Classic's play. As a guy, you just kind of gotta love Classic. As an aspiring fashion model, you gotta love Classic. I mean, how can you not love Classic, right? Especially with his win in the GSL Super Tournament. I think he is in the, rare form. Classic always seems to be kind of like the INnoVation. Well, I would guess, what's his name? Stats is more like the INnoVation of Protoss, but Classic is just that small level, below Stats, right? And I feel like Classic and Stats are almost always fighting for that position of top Protoss player. And right now I think Classic's coming out on top, so I think he should definitely be a huge threat to INnoVation here. INnoVation with the 50 goes in chat probably means that he's ready.
INnoVation is definitely
what do you
ready.
think? Okay.
Now I'm going to flip this on you, because I do think INnoVation's going to take it. I can feel it. INnoVation is there's just something special about INnoVation. Him and Maru, for me, are the 2 greatest players to ever touch this game. And MVP, but that's more personal bias. Just because I love the guy. And I play Protoss, so with all of my heart, I want to think Classic. He's going to Protoss him. He's going to Protoss him so good.
Yeah.
But INnoVation is INnoVation,
INnoVation is indeed INnoVation. I mean, it's kind of weird to think about it, because some players, you look at them and you say, this guy might be the best StarCraft 2 player in the entire world, that ever is in the entire world right now. This guy could be the best. So, INnoVation, the guy you can never count out of anything. But still, I'm insulted that as a Protoss player you would not back up.
I know, and I'm sorry. There's just something. I think a lot of it comes down to I know INnoVation. I've met him on a few occasions. He's the nicest, sweetest guy. He tries really hard to talk to everyone. He is Inno the Winnow,
That's only his humanity function deceiving you for sympathy. I see right through his cold hard exterior. No,
guys, we are in the latest screen. Yeah, yes, he's fantastic. He's super sweet.
Most Korean programmers seem like very nice people. I've never
they are.
Yeah, I've never really had a bad encounter. Not to say I've had a bad encounter with foreign pro players, but it seems like Korean players they always got that little extra bit just to make sure everyone's feeling good. The tournament's going fine. They're always respectful. They're always nice. And
now, my boy Swag, would you like to take it away first?
Oh, I would love to, Grant. spawning in the top left-hand position of Port Alexander. It is the blue Protoss player. He is winning, coming fresh off of a win of the GSL Super Tournament. It is Classic.
Alright, are you ready for this? Because I'm going to go pretty big on this one.
Oh yeah, okay.
So take a deep breath.
I'll make sure to match my observing.
Yeah, the excitement. In the bottom right, I'm going to make you do this at 3 in the morning, Swag. Playing for Team Reciprocity. He is the Red Terran player from Korea. One of the best of all time. He is the one and only INnoVation.
I didn't enable you, I just kind of zoomed in when he said that name. Only Classic gets the twirlies, because I am the observer, I get to be biased here, you know?
Yeah, you do, yeah, only following Classic. I just get to dart around and zoom in and out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so both players are starting very standard. We've not got any cheese, any halde, as the Dutch would say.
Nope, no halde here. This is a halde-free zone, so no grapiers across the map, no 2 gases for the Protoss, no barracks in the middle of like the Port Alexander. So both players just gonna open up very not necessarily standard. We don't know what they're doing yet, but they're not gonna do anything too crazy so far. I think both players just kind of want to feel each other out. None of these players really strike me as the let's go ahead and cheese game one kind of guys. So especially on Port Alexander, one of the larger maps in the map pool, I think we should be seeing a nice macro game to kick things off.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think later on in this series we will see maybe one proxy gate, proxy stargate, things like that. But from INnoVation's point of view, this isn't a great Reaper map. There is only the one cliff and that natural to jump up on. So you're never gonna proxy free Reaper, proxy free Rex Reaper on this map. Unfortunately, it's my favorite build.
Oh yeah, God no, my God, I can't remember the last time. No, I can. I remember the last time I faced off against proxy 3Rex Reaper. Grant, these were dark times, and right now, I would like to forget about them. Classic, gonna go and chrono out that adept, nothing really too unusual there. INnoVation, I wouldn't be surprised if he just scouts around with this Reaper instead of sending it across the map, and that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, yeah, you know, the amount of value to get from being able to scout out a proxy this early is just invaluable, and, you know, Port's a pretty big map, the adept's gonna be up at the time you get there, why even bother, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. And on Port especially, there's so much room in the main, so much room around the main. Proxy Stargate is very good on this map, and an Oracle coming in very quickly can do so much damage. Meanwhile, from INnoVation, we are seeing a standard 1-1-1, no 2-1-1 shenanigans, and it does look like he's going to do a Widowmine drop.
Yeah, so gonna open up with a bang here from INnoVation, literally. But Classic, similarly, is gonna open up with probably 99% of the time this Twilight cancels for Blink. Especially getting that sentry, but we're about to see.
There we go.
My dreams, no Dark Shrine. But yeah, Blink is like one of the 2, I would say, great standard openings of Protoss. It's always been in our like playbook, you know, since pretty much forever. And Blink is going to be a great defensive tool against these Widowmine drops.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and basically, you know, the only way Blink really suffers is against those, you know, siege tank pushes, right? That come out super early, and you're just like, oh, well, now I have 4 pink stalkers and, you know, 1 million marines and tanks on my side of the map. But against pretty much everything else, you should be a pretty happy camper. Hallucinate is also going to come out as well, so Classic is going to be privy to what INnoVation is doing. You like him mixing in that UK slang there, Mr. Grant, embracing your culture.
Okay, so... Ooh. That was very, very close. I don't think the Phoenix saw that medevac. It would have been very, very close. Medevac has now across the map with 2 Widowmines inside.
Right.
If those can get some good hits, that would put INnoVation in a fantastic position for his follow-up push with those tanks, as you mentioned.
For sure, for sure.
Oh, and Classic is actually out on the map. Does he have anything defending behind his mineral lines? He's warping in now. The medevac does come in. Needs to boost. Actually, may go down. Oh my God, that medevac.
One dropping over there. And I think the other Widowmine is going to get the burrow off into the main base as well.
It does. Forces the pull. Yeah, very, very nice so far from INnoVation. Just juggling that.
Just being super annoying with that Widowmine. Look at this unburrow and burrow shenanigans. I hate
this. This is a lot of mining.
I hate INnoVation. Okay, never mind.
There we go.
2 probes going down. Hate is a strong word. I should be careful about that. But man, those Widowmine shenanigans are really what like drive me crazy.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, they are just shenanigans, and only 2 probes are gonna go down from that drop. So overall, not too bad coming out from Classic here.
No, definitely. I'd agree. Classic's holds was very good. 2 workers is completely fine in that scenario. It was a big commitment. There was a lot of lost mining time. INnoVation is, you know, it does lose its Reaper. INnoVation is very, very good at getting the maximum out of every unit, everything he does.
Oh, yeah.
Behind this, he is starting Stim. He does have a Raven, which is, although it's not uncommon, it's not the most standard. Double Forge from Classic as well.
Yeah, the Raven is probably like, it's very common. I wouldn't say super common, but it's pretty common with Terrans. If your opponent's going for Colossus, you can kind of just like shut that down and get a nice timing push. If they're going for a big swath of charge lots, and anti-armor missile is really good. Of course, it does slow you down a little bit, but in cases when you actually are getting your aggression out, Raven is very useful. And Classic right now is going to do something which I really do like out of this Blink build. He's not going to sit back at home, he's not going to be defensive, his stalkers are out, they're across the map. They're ready to go ahead and threaten INnoVation if he tries to drop across the map. He's going to go and be ready to pick the push of INnoVation as much as he can when INnoVation tries to move across the map. So I think he's doing exactly what he needs to this game. Meanwhile, back at home, his upgrades are churning away. He's got charge, additional gateways, he's got a robo. And overall, with a third base in his pocket as well, Classic is looking to be in a pretty strong position this game.
I really like Classic's position here. I really like when Protosses do this. Look for that contain, slow down that third. The more ahead you get, once a Protoss gets to 6 and 8 gases, they can start to afford this Colossus and the Storms at the same time, whilst, unlimited Zealots. So it's really nice from Classic just to buy every second he can. He has that Adept up to the north at the third base of INnoVation. So right now he is seeing everything. He knows INnoVation is just sitting there on his 2 bases. INnoVation's third CC, is it even done? I don't believe it is. This is a very scary army for INnoVation, though.
Yep, tried and true. Oh my goodness.
Are
you seeing the boys in rear?
Oh, I'm seeing the boys.
With the gear.
Okay.
I wonder if the Stalkers are able to scout that, because if you see this SCV push, or SCV pull
I think
here,
they probably have caught a glimpse.
Maybe, but like the bio is like in front,
Yeah,
but INnoVation Live, you're trying. If you see this, you don't defend the third, right? I mean, you just kind of...
No, I think he would probably abandon the third. He does have a lot of charge zealots, which are very good. He has a good amount of force fields too, but if these tanks can siege up, and if we can get a big anti-armor missile, oh, what a fantastic split from Classic.
Yep,
now
that
the boys
is big.
A
couple of good force fields do going down. The siege tanks do end up sieging, and INnoVation is stepping on board, though almost all of the SCVs die before the main engagement even starts, so kind of a little bit mistake here from INnoVation. Now more charge loss coming on in, jumping top of the siege tanks. More pros being pulled from Classic. Is he going to hold?
The tanks are still alive, and they're doing so much DPS, and with reinforcements showing up, there's only 4 Stalkers and an Immortal left. This third is definitely going to go down. Classic right now is sitting quite low on supply, but he has more workers. If he can hold, he can stabilise, and he can probably come out ahead, especially in the economical department. More and more Zealots are being walked in, and they are fantastic against this. He needs to get some damage on these tanks. He needs to thin the tank count.
Yeah, big question is if almost doubling the armor supply is INnoVation. It's going to come down here for one final push. Charizard soaking the damage, doing what they're trying to do on the siege tanks, do end up going down, but so does the rest of the Protoss army. And I think
there's so much bio left, Swag.
Yeah, he might actually be broken here. Another stim coming up from INnoVation, just a solid 2-base push to kick things off in game number 1. It looks like Classic may end up tapping out here as INnoVation more than quintuples his army supply, which is never a phrase you want to hear when regarding to army supply.
I like it. Quick maths.
Yeah, the quickest math, especially on stream. You gotta be careful with it though.
And now there's another tank here too.
I mean,
I feel for Classic. He is going to try and hold on. He's walking in everything he can. The Robo is now unpowered, but with the tank here, with this amount of bio, the boys are now pulled off a line, and the stutter step for INnoVation is just phenomenal. Taking no unnecessary hits, finding that better concave. And it looks like game 1
is gonna go to INnoVation.
INnoVation, wow, and that was clean. I mean, we were sitting there talking about how good Classic's position was. He had his double forges, he had his third, maybe a little bit too safe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you gotta. Everybody's lost to that build at least once in their lives, right? If you're a Protoss, you've lost to that. Pull the boys, just get that 2-base push going. I definitely think that Classic had all the right pieces. He was blinking away. He was kiting. I think the big mistake was just kind of defending the third there, because if you pull back up to the natural, you buy yourself so much time. You get the additional warp ins, maybe your 1-1 finishes by the time the push actually becomes a big threat, especially if you're going for double forward, which is a huge commitment, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I think that was a major thing there. Again, when you have such high level play here, it's gonna come down to like very small, minute, decisions that they make, because Classic and INnoVation both played excellently that game, but again, it's small stuff that really that's gonna differentiate these players.
INnoVation there just ruthless. He didn't hold back. He saw an opportunity. He went for it and he did not stop. Other players maybe when the fights were getting a bit rough would have pulled back a bit, given that extra breathing time. Just 5 seconds, you know.
Right.
Miguel disconnected from the party.
Yeah, INnoVation's post was anything but, you know, giving Classic time. You can see he just kind of rushed through that map. Alright, as we get ready for game number 2, folks, let me take a quick moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, GameStop. GameStop has always been about giving power to the players, you know that, and now they're bringing it specifically to us esports aficionados. The new program features coaching and more from some of the world's most prominent teams and players. You can go ahead and visit GameStop's website through this Metrino quest. You can look and follow that link in the top right hand portion of the chat if you are interested there, and also you can type in no coupon codes, we don't have a coupon code here, but you can go ahead and complete the GameStop quest and go ahead and add to the prize pool that way, and also learn more about what GameStop has to offer. So yeah, GameStop. You don't have GameStop over in London, that's what you over in the UK, right?
No, we don't. We have a separate company for sort of our brick and mortar video games. So I've never seen a GameStop in person, but with them now getting into esports, I'm sure in the future we won't be too far off of it.
Yeah,
we are just now.
You may be blessed with seeing those holy red and white signs. Maybe once in a life, Grant. We'll see. Come over to America.
See, we just have a company called Game, which isn't quite as, you know.
Just Game?
Just Game.
There's no. What, it's just called Game? I mean,
just called Game.
What, do you have a game over there that's just called Star?
Yes.
Not even StarCraft, just like Star. My god. Game. What do they sell over at this establishment, Mr. Grant?
Do you want to know?
Yes, I would, Mr. Sir.
What they sell is mainly mobile phones.
No.
Or cell phones, as you call them.
Grant, don't do it.
I'm not even joking.
No, that's why I said don't even do it. Are you serious? A place called
Game.
They do. That just
they sell games too. That's why they started. They started off selling games, but I mean, these days they just.
The cell phone market is just too lucrative. Too much.
Yeah.
God.
They started to branch out. They do game merchandise as well, you know. I guess.
God.
No, I definitely don't want to play in this game.
Oh, thank God for the Revolutionary War. Anyways, Automaton is going to be the next map. I think it's loser chooses, so this is Classics map pool. So Grant, as a Protoss player, what do you think about Automaton against INnoVation?
I like Automaton because it takes a long time for the Terran to get across the map, especially if he is looking to be very aggressive. I mean, from my point of view, I hate the map because you can't cannon rush on it, and that's all I do.
Oh man, you just said that in front of 300 people, I hope you know. Have some shame.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
He's not sorry. Cannon rush it. Yeah.
Not even slightly. So yeah, this is a veto for me. But yeah, it does take a long time for Terran to get across the map. It's a very easy map for you to get to your free base position, which is where Classic is strongest. We saw he wants to maybe cut a corner, be a little bit greedy, and just get to free bases where he can super power up, get to 7-8 gates, and just roll over INnoVation.
Yeah, we saw that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go gateway heavy, get his double fortress. Probably would have seen a transition to Storm there.
Yes.
What did I do? Nothing. Okay.
For now. While we wait, in the right-hand side, get this 245 position. We're getting precise here. Player for Team I really struggled to say it. Player for Team Rec.
Yeah.
He is the red Terran player. He 2-based all-ins with the boys. A man after my own heart. It's INnoVation.
Really a man of culture there. Bringing in the worker rebellion with his pushes. Call Team Wreck because he will wreck the nerd spawning in the bottomy left-hand position of Automaton. It is the blue Protoss player, currently down 1-0. It is Classic. And going off your point about Automaton being a longer map, I think you're definitely right there. There's also kind of an interesting feature here, which I'm not sure if Classic will want to do, but if he's feeling really adventurous, if he takes his third base at the gold mineral location over here, then what actually he can do is have a third base that's defended by ramps. So if he thinks he's gonna get pushed again, if he thinks he's gonna like face off against anything super cheesy, I actually think it's much better to take that third and force the Terran player to come up that ramp, and it really does stifle a Terran's push when they have to do that. Unlike in Port Alexandria, where they can just get like the biggest concave known to mankind and just, you know, shred your charge lots. So that also could be a reason why Classic wants to come in.
I really like, from a Terran's point of view, from INnoVation's point of view on this map, there are some incredible siege positions. You can siege up just if he takes a standard fed behind the mineral line of like the 4th base position, and do so much damage, deny mining, be really frustrating. If we get to that sort of mid to late game, sort of 7, 8, 9 minute mark, I think we'll probably see INnoVation with a tank push doing something like that. Oh my lord.
This is a throwback, ain't it?
This is a throwback.
Is this going to be a 2-1-1 build coming in from INnoVation?
It's going to be
at least a 2 build. At least a 2 build.
It's definitely a 2. Now Reapers are very, very good on this map. There's a lot of places you can jump up and down. You can get in. You can scout everything very well. On the other side, actually, this is the best blink map in the pool. So I'm very surprised to see Classic throw down the Stargate.
Yeah, I mean. You also got to consider with the Stargate, you do get a little bit more information than if you were to go with Blinkstalkers, and Oracles and Phoenixes definitely can help out in the fight at least a little bit. Also, tags are extremely useful. I think there's 2 different kinds of Stargate players for the 2 different kinds of Stargate units, you know, in PvT. They're the Oracle players and then the Phoenix players. I think Classic, before he makes the Stargate and finishes on up with my amazing prediction, I'm going to say he's going to make Oracles. Right? Yeah. Oracle. So just gonna go ahead and try and find that damage against INnoVation. Also just keeps tabs on his armies. I would say Oracles are a little bit more, as weird as it may seem, more solid than Phoenixes, because Phoenixes, you know, you can just die to so much if you're not prepared, especially now that Hellions are in the meta. If you go for Phoenixes, oh my goodness, like if your opponent is pumping out Hellions by the 2-sum and then they go ahead and like try to run by into your natural, you're gonna get roasted, right? So Oracle's a safe choice here. I definitely like it by Classic. And Classic, known to babysit his Oracles quite almost infamously, you know, just does not want to lose them. So if you can keep that alive, it's gonna be a great utility coming to the mid game.
What we are seeing from INnoVation is a Widow Mine. Now that's very, very good against this Oracle style. When you have a few Marines, the Widow Mine hits. If you hide it in a weird place, like behind a Starport or behind a Rax, it's nearly impossible to see. Classic now is coming in with his Oracle. There is nothing in position to defend, so this will definitely get... Oh, that's a Widow Mine.
And this is why I try not to say anything while I'm casting. Well, obviously very happy about that kill. Classic, I think that was a little bit of a mistake. I mean, if you just dive into the middle land like that, you have to be like pretty much on like point, ready to like go ahead and like pull that Oracle back. So if you guys don't know, that was actually a ginormous deal there, because now he's not going to be able to scout out. I don't even think he was able to scout out the buildings of Classic or of INnoVation. He doesn't know that it's a 2-1-1 build. He didn't see the army moving out, didn't see the number of Marines. I mean, that was just a little sad if you're a Classic fan there, because he basically just spent 300 minerals and 300 gas on an exploding Oracle. He spent it on Fireworks Show, Grant. That's basically what he did.
And now we have like sort of 13, 14 Marines and 2 Widow Mines moving out. What does Classic have at home? Classic at home has 5 Stalkers and 1 Phoenix in the deck.
But
a few more Stalkers will make this a little bit better. If Widow Mines get good hits, so INnoVation has a very good opportunity to do a lot of damage. You can definitely pressure this front.
I thought he was going to try and drop on top of the Gave units, and I was like, don't do it. No. Looks like he's not.
And now this is going to be a control fight. This will be very close.
Very much so. I think Classic has definitely been on top of his warplanes. You can tell that he's just been making sure to hit every single round he could get, and I think that's a very safe choice when you don't know what's going on. And especially against this push, it's going to prove to be very useful, especially as soon as Blink finishes on up. You can start to fade out these Widow Mine shots, and then really start to clean up this build. Look, he's already throwing down 40. He's already pretty confident that he should be able to hold this in INnoVation. Just going to go ahead and still mine away for now.
Very nice. INnoVation actually not going and checking that 3rd position, which is up. He probably had some potential to at least do some damage to it. I'm guessing he feels keeping these units alive is more important. He could have been blinked after, for example. And what is INnoVation's choice? He's getting combat shields, he's getting +1, adding Marauders, and more Widow Mines.
I think we may be seeing a similar 2-base push as we saw in game number 1, where
you might be
INnoVation
right.
just gonna get that nice, big, strong 2-base army that he likes and just push across the map. Now, when that happens, I definitely like Classic's response. If you can get Storm up against those big 2-base bio pushes that is really committed, you know, when they're starting to sit on one base, or rather 2 bases, it can be a very, very strong get since Ghosts are not quite a thing yet.
Now, Classic has a lot of Stalkers here. He also has Blink, so this is very nice. That one Phoenix getting very low.
Good control.
INnoVation is able to chase us away, and Classic didn't get a chance yet to go up and see, is the third on location, is the third in the main? He doesn't have that information. I imagine the Phoenix probably did look, actually.
Yeah, again, he's being very cautious with the Phoenix. He doesn't want to, you know, have a repeat of an Oracle situation, you know, so let's going to go ahead and cautiously fight around now. I think he's just now going to peek into the main. Doesn't even want to do that, though.
Certainly thinking about it.
Yeah, he's like, do I really want to scout?
And here comes the Soul Train.
Oh, let me guess. Look, I'm not even looking on the minimap right now, but I just saw this big blob of red suddenly leave a mineral field and follow behind an army. Ah, yes, would you look at that? More boys being pulled. Well, I think I see a theme here. Grant, what do you think? Oh, you're cutting out super badly, Grant, I think. Well, that's alright. The natural base is going to go in and get picked on off. But meanwhile, INnoVation is ready to Ragnarok and roll over at Classic side of the map. Archon going to go in and step on forward and literally explode.
Now, this building placement it's good and it's bad for Classic. The Archons weren't able to get the surface area they needed, but the Marines couldn't also charge in. I think it's actually ended up working better for INnoVation. He may have lost his workers, but his bio is untouched and he's killed so much of this army.
Yeah,
the Willemines aren't able to get hit. And INnoVation's control is so good, probes are forced off for the third. The Immortal just got picked off, and I think we may be seeing a repeat.
of game number 1. I think so too.
Yes.
The thing about pro pulls, you gotta pull them right away. Like, you gotta know as soon as you want to pull them whether or not to pull them. Otherwise, you just have probes fighting bio, which is never a good situation. Regardless, INnoVation will take a quick game number 2 as well, and something tells me he kind of wants to finish the series a little quickly. I get this feeling in the back of my head.
Yeah,
you know,
this is arguably the best Terran in the world, and he's going, nah, I don't need a third.
Yeah,
Thirds are overrated.
Third bases, you guys, trying to macro against Protoss, nerds. Have you seen those Colossus? They shoot like laser beams and stuff. Not playing against that. Speaking of Colossus, though, Colossus would actually serve Classic really well in those pushes. Like, just think about it. Like, if you open up with Robo and go for Observer, because I think opening up with Blink, you're trying to find some damage, you're trying to get something done. I don't know. I just think that if you're facing off against these big pushes that Inno's been doing, that Colossus are going to be a much better choice. But then again, it's the mind game of, oh, now that INnoVation thinks I'm going to go Colossus, is he now going to go for a quick siege tank push and just make me a sad boy? Or a bunch of Widowmine drops and like really stretch me thin, as Colossus plays susceptible to do. So, tricky situation if you're Classic, but you know what? He's still got at least 3 more games to try and pull it on back. So, good luck, have fun, as INnoVation would say, and looks like though we're almost ready to start the next game on Year 0, which someone picked willingly. Grant, care to elaborate on this willing Year 0 pick?
I think Classic is trying to get further into the late game. Now, this is definitely the biggest map in the map pool. It's much harder to do like an SCV pool. There's only one path, one option. It's also very, very easy for Warp Prisms or Stargate units to get into that main and do potentially damage in the early to mid game. I think Classic right now is just trying to survive, and when you need to buy time, you pick the biggest map, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, Classic just like not getting to play his game. You can see like his game plan is 3 bases, 2 forges, bunch of gateway units. Let's rock and roll. But INnoVation, or rather, I guess the player in the top right hand position, is just not giving him anything. Alright. But regardless, let's see if you can pull it on back. The comeback may start now. Spawning in the top left-hand position of Year 0. He is the blue Protoss player, currently down 2 games, but not down out of the series. It is Classic.
And in this top right corner of Year 0, playing for Team Rec. He is up 2-0 with 2 dominating SCV pools. The one and only is INnoVation.
I gave you a little bit more flair on your intro there. I felt a little bad that I've just kind of been half doing it this past time, so I figured, you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that.
Some spins, some camera work.
Yeah, a little camera work, a little bit of the insert key, a little bit of the delete key. Nothing too special.
It. Okay, so are we going to see INnoVation go for any cheeky earlier second Rex on this map? I don't imagine so. Again, it's a very good map to defend on. I'd like to see INnoVation maybe try and macro.
Yeah,
not that he has to try too hard.
I mean, I guess I would like to see INnoVation, like, you know, get that third base instead of the 2 extra racks. But hey, you know, if you can kill your opponent with an SCV pull every game, why not kill your opponent with an SCV pull every game? Just like how you can rush every game, Mr. Grant. I'm sure you can understand INnoVation's mindset here.
I mean, his games take 10 minutes longer than mine, so who's the real winner here?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alright.
Okay, so everything standard so far. Nothing unusual. We did have the Nexus go down before the Cybercore, which is just player preference, really. Some players like to get that slightly earlier economy. Some players like to be slightly safer against a Reaper. And once INnoVation controlling the Reaper, it's always a little scary. This does mean that that first Protoss gateway unit can be a little bit later. The Reaper can usually get a few pot shots off early.
Right.
But INnoVation...
Katsikov is trying to make that up at the current Pro, saying, hey, have you been looking at chat? I occasionally alt type in there, you guys, looking for that one English-speaking guy to say something. This guy called Raul Zerg, I think, has cracked the code. A very detailed explanation, actually, a very simple explanation on why Classic is losing to INnoVation. Care to hear?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Alright, so Classic is Masters League. We saw his portrait. It wasn't that orangey gold sort of thing. It was just blue. So obviously going to come in as an underdog against somebody who's ranked 12 on the Korean server.
What's very surprising is he is Masters League, but he's also 6.7k MMR. Someone's not been playing their 15 games.
It's Classic smurfing just to like stomp on like younger Korean aspiring StarCraft 2 players.
Yes. And do you know what we see this game, Swag?
Huh.
We see a third command center.
No, stop it. Oh my god, what an INnoVation. That's not a barracks, you silly goose.
So INnoVation actually played very greedy. He got his reactor before his Reaper. He didn't. Has he scouted anything? Not anything. Nothing at all. Not been anywhere near his opponent's base. He did go to the ramp, took 2 adept shots, and went, nah, I'm out.
Yep, not a lick of light for that Reaper. And as you said before, that third base is extremely fast, extremely greedy. Imagine if Classic opened up Blink and moved across the map. Like, there's no bunker, siege tank, forget about it. There's a couple of Marines. I mean, INnoVation will be in some serious, as we say here in the States, doo-doo. But, INnoVation took a risk, and it's going to go ahead and pay on off. Classic is cornering Phoenixes, and Phoenixes aren't notorious for their killing ability, so INnoVation should be relatively safe to go ahead and take his third base. So, nice little move there by INnoVation.
Yeah, INnoVation completely turning the game on his head as well. When you're Classic and you're down 2-0, yeah, it's a best of 9. He has plenty of games.
Oh, yeah.
But he is going to be playing a little bit on the cautious side. You will, with caution. When you're down like this and you need something to happen.
And speaking of something happening, we see INnoVation's Widowmine drop. Going to go ahead and get caught by these Phoenixes. Widowmines go down, Medevacs go down, and that's pretty much the best case scenario. On the plus side, INnoVation, I know that's Stargate, but kind of a not nice way to know that is.
And also, INnoVation very, very light so far on the bio units. These Phoenixes are going to be able to get a fair few workers. 3 immediately go down, there goes a 4th.
Oh yeah.
And Classic, he's not going to lose a Phoenix. He's not going to overstay his welcome. He's Classic.
Yeah, no. See, you're doing the same thing I did, Grant. I was like, no way he's going to lose the Oracle.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, boom! Fireworks, but
true.
I do think you're right, Classic. I think that was very uncharacteristic. Classic generally has great control of his air units, so I think he's just gonna go ahead, fire around, try and find what damage he can find, and look, INnoVation's just gonna be bleeding units left and right here. Already, he has lost 5 workers, now up to 6.
And you want to see something interesting, Swag? Check the units lost.
I always love to see something interesting.
If you just take a look at that units lost tab.
Wow. That's a lot of units lost, Mr. Grant.
And
Two
none
Mines,
for Classic.
6 SCVs, Medevac and a Reaper, and nothing lost for Classic. Exactly the kind of thing you want to be seeing as a Protoss player.
If you can get to 3 bases with losing 0 units, you're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, something's going good in your games. Classic really asserting his map dominance with these Phoenixes. You can see INnoVation is just super scared to take that 3rd base. And as soon as I say that, he's going to go and start rolling it over to take his 3rd base. But still took him a while to go ahead and
there's not enough bio here. Without Stim, okay, now the rest of the bio will move in to be able to push this back and him to secure his 3rd base. Meanwhile, Classic almost fully saturated on his 3rd. He's getting Immortals, he's getting a Templar Archives. We should see Storm start, I imagine, relatively soon. He may just use it for Archons.
Now, here's one nice thing. Classic knows he's not being too greedy because he knows that, like, he doesn't necessarily know that it's a 3rd CC. I actually think the Phoenixes have somehow managed not to see that this whole time. But, you know, judging on what he's been seeing and, like, how well he defended that early Widowmine drop, yeah, kind of sucks. I think he knows that he's in a pretty okay position to go ahead and be as greedy as he's being, to just get that 3rd base completely saturated, get all of these upgrades, get that, you know, Templar Archives down, and you know what, it's paying off. He's starting to pull ahead in army supply as well, and this looks to be Classic's game to take control of.
Classic is now adding his 2nd forge, so he hasn't been the greediest little Protoss player, but he's certainly, you know, his upgrades are in a good position. He does have +2 armor coming. Okay, so what we are definitely going to see is a very, very heavy gateway style. The armor upgrades are very good for Zealots. They're already very tanky. If you start getting the armor upgrades, Widowmines don't do quite as much. Phoenix is also chased around, which is always fun to see.
And here's something that actually really sucks if you're an INnoVation fan. So INnoVation, if you take a look at this guy's vision, it's basically been limited to a scan on the natural and a scan on the 3rd. He doesn't really know what's going on the opposite side of the map. Like, I cannot overemphasize like how lost INnoVation is in this game. But he can do that for me. If you take a look at the Unistab, he's made 4 Vikings. He has 2 starports now. And I think he started those Vikings up because he thought that Classic was going for Colossus.
I definitely agree with you, Swag. He was lucky enough to scan in the middle of the map and catch the army, so he has now seen that it is that sort of, I like to call it Protoss bio, where it's mass gateway, mass ground units, nothing, you know, none of those high tier 3 units, apart from Archons. And he has now switched to Liberators, which are very good against this.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 2 Stargates and there's no Colossus on the field, there's a very, 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 very nice unit you can go ahead and pump out 4 at a time. This mass Liberator style is something we have been seeing a little bit more recently, especially in the new GSL season, but you gotta be super careful with it. I mean, like, if there's not enough bio underneath to go and support, especially considering Classic's dominance this game, and the giant swath of charge dots, I mean, first off, the ground army is gonna get absolutely pounded by INnoVation. And a couple of weapons of Stalkers later, and I think Classic may be liable to push INnoVation if he's just 1 hair out of position here.
Now, I guess the positive for INnoVation is he has a lot. We're talking 5 Liberators, but I believe there are more in production. Yeah, there are more in production. If they get those siege zones up, it's very hard to push in. Zealots will get 1 or 2 shot by them. I'm not sure with +2 armor how that will go.
Right.
But yeah, they're not set up.
This depot wall. Oh no! Whoa! Depot wall. God. Okay, but Classic wants to take the fight anyways. Feels like he can do it, but a lot of Zealots going down, but the giant storm eaten by INnoVation there. I would not have been able to do that. I'm saying this right now. That depot wall was looking so scary. This high Templar trying to take out that Marauder. Marauder says, not even going to waste my time killing you. Gonna go and pick it up.
Now, INnoVation has a very, very large concave. He also has, as I said, oh wow, what blink in. Now this is ballsy from Classic. Classic has blinked in. Oh my god, that storm and all of the bio.
Yeah, especially in all the air units too. But again, you can't underestimate the concaves of Terran. I mean, he's starting to push on through, but in these scrappy situations, it's not the Protoss that comes out ahead. And you can see that Classic is now dipping below an armor supply of 1 Warpin. Gonna go ahead and save the push for now, save him from getting completely cleared up. But he's just been taking so much damage from the sky. I mean, I think he may have to think about getting on out of here, picking up those Immortals and just getting out of dodge. Actually, how this was happening, I think there was a drop on the opposite side of the base. No, a Raven threw it on auto turrets and killed 13 workers, Grant.
So INnoVation also losing 15 workers of his own. But do you know what ended up working for INnoVation? I can't believe I'm going to say this. Those two Vikings pushed out the warp prism. There was a warping cycle completely missed because of the two accidental Colossus Vikings. I mean, because it's INnoVation, I'm going to say it wasn't an accident. It was all pre-planned.
Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh, I just need these 4 Vikings anyways." What are you stupid casters talking about? But,
And he would be right.
I gotta say, you heard my vocalization of fear about that blink-in and that, attack in those depots. And you can see all the depots are gone, but so is Classic's army and his army advantage there. I think INnoVation had exactly the position that he wanted, exactly the concave that he wanted. Not the Storm Darters that he wanted, but it took a pretty good fight, all things considered. I think Classic may have made a little bit of a blunder there now that the Liberator tech is starting to really advance.
Yeah.
It's not like INnoVation will just keep on making like ground units. Like you need to eventually, you need to start getting Tempest. You need to start getting Fleet Beacons, +1 air and stuff like that. And Classic is just kind of stuck on, like you said, Protoss Bio.
And INnoVation, throughout all of that, only lost like a couple of Liberators. He's now lost 7 in total throughout the game. But when you're still sitting at such a high number, he has 8, and he is getting air weapons also, so they'll be able to do just that a little bit more. These Liberators are terrifying. They're so hard to push in against. INnoVation does scan the main now. He is going to see that there is a star. Well, he knows about the Stargate. The Robo is working. He sees the gateway count. Nothing massive. Meanwhile, Classic is pushing in on this planetary. Oh, the storms.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to go ahead and commit hard on the penetrating. We'll end up getting it due to INnoVation's a delayed reaction. And yeah, that's the thing about Liberators. You can't really chase down your opponent all too well. So INnoVation just going to have to eat that damage as Classic doing what it needs to do against the Liberators. But I think, honestly, if INnoVation can just survive, then, it's a tale as old as time. We see a million, Liberators go across the map. And we see, a couple of Stalkers from the opposing Protoss players get absolutely obliterated, especially with that +1 air. I think it's at the +1 or +2 air that allows them to 2-shot Stalkers. And when that starts happening, you really need your Tempest then.
Now, the Storms are very good, but INnoVation's army there's no Marines, or there's not many Marines. It's 17 Marauders. And Marauders don't mind Storms, it's just A for them. They'll sit there, they'll take it, and they'll be firing those missiles.
It's like someone sneezed on their neck, It's not even, they're just like, ew, what's that?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Right?
Oh my god, okay, so INnoVation with very large stones has loaded up his entire army. He's flying towards the main.
Extraordinarily large scones, Grant. Maybe with some blueberry in there, and he's gonna go ahead and back on off. Why is he so? I mean, I was about to say all INnoVation has to do is not die, and the game is pretty much his. This is pretty much the one way that the game isn't yours. Literally picking up your whole army and moving it across the map to your opponent's base. Look at all these. Look at how much Classic knows what INnoVation's up to. Is INnoVation? He's not turning back. Oh my god, he wants to do it.
I mean, that's one way to push this back.
What an absolute man. Look at this. I mean, I guess he's gonna start chipping away. All his Liberators at such low health though. Imagine the
now he's gonna. Look how many cannons are in position for Classic though. Classic isn't gonna let this drop. If this drops, this dies. Meanwhile, INnoVation has loaded up 4 more medevacs and it's gonna go somewhere else.
Oh, INnoVation. Oh, look, he's gonna storm it. Just like a. Oh. Never mind. Oh, there's a sad life.
Just kidding.
Oh,
he's dying.
No!
Oh, no!
There were so many ways that could have been done better. Alright, but that's okay. That's just oh, look, and now that he's out of position, INnoVation goes out and drops it. Look at this crazy guy. So he's gonna go big on top now.
And he disabled the Immortals. Oh my god, the anti-armor missile.
Yep, anti-armor missile on all these units, making it Halloween time. And actually, pretty good trades coming up from his Liberators. 8 kills on that one, which is pretty yikes. Meanwhile, a big drop going to come here on that 4th base. Recall doesn't...
Oh, look at all the probes that I've just transferred.
Yep, that was a close one. But he is going to go ahead and not clean on up. There's not enough Stalkers to take out the Liberators, and all that recalled army just gets taken on out. And I think we're starting to see Classic just get picked apart by INnoVation. I mean, not going to go for the slow push style. He's like using Liberators the way God intended Liberators to be used, Brent.
And Swag, I have a question for you. And this question is also a tribute to our favourite French caster. Have you looked at the Super Fly anytime soon?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have, Mr. Grant. And, I didn't actually. Oh, wait, Roddy's French? Huh. Alright, today.
No, Todd.
Oh,
Ted.
Todd. Oh, Todd's French?
Yeah, Todd,
Oh, no.
Todd is the creator of that meme. He's the one that says it like Superfly.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't know I was thinking that Kevin and Todd look really similar. Okay, like don't rag on me.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Don't
No,
okay, yeah.
Rotty is Dutch, and if you ever get the chance to meet Rotty, I'm giving him a personal shout out right now. He's the best guy in the StarCraft 2 scene
Oh yeah,
of all time.
Yeah, his walls are kind of meh, but he
yeah, Rotty walls.
walling, he
Sorry,
makes up
Kev.
for in spirit.
And also in Snapchat videos.
Oh my gosh, I got it.
You
I'm like
have to add Kev on Snapchat.
so insane.
Oh, this is a huge pro ball just getting caught out, and then Innovation's army is huge. Look at the
Yeah.
concave he has.
Yeah, and the Liberators too, with range being done on top of this. Actually, not even any range for these Liberators. This is gonna go and stem on top of the army, and I think Classic got to play his game. He had his chance. He did what he needed to do. But in the end, I mean, Innovation just kind of steamrolled all over him. It was looking so good for him too, up until those Liberator drops in the main. Classic just absorbing the loss right now. And I think, Grant, your prediction is slowly starting to become true. GG is called, and Innovation will take another game off of Classic.
Now, I predicted Innovation to win. I didn't predict Innovation to roll over him.
Yeah, like, I thought it was going to be like, you know, oh, Classic, you know, does this against Innovation, but Innovation bites back. But no, it's just kind of been, you know, a one-sided pound fest. Solely delivered by Innovation, signed for and notarized by Classic, so not really, there's not really much there. And look at this army value. Yeah, this is what I wanted to kind of go on about. You can see exactly the moment we're engaging to those Liberators, and you can't really blame them. You know, those high gateway unit army count for the Protoss. That's really not an army that's going to pull you into the late game. You know, really it's that robotics bay that's going to, you know, with Colossus and maybe even Disruptors, help you, you know, transition into like the later game, you know, where you get your Tempest stuff and stuff like that. So I can see why Classic felt like he needed to fight there, but it was just such a bad position, Grant.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Classic tried really hard. He maybe, if he wasn't as desperate to push, he could have gone down from the south position and attacked the third from there. If he could have been a bit more patient, I don't think he knew he was in such a great economical position. He'd had his third up a lot longer. Obviously, when a Terran gets his third, it is very nice for him to have all those mules. And once a Terran gets a third, he can start planetary and dropping CCs everywhere. But Classic he didn't need to fight right then.
Yeah, it wasn't a necessity, you know. I mean, like, honestly, if you just, like, go ahead and, like, drop down, you know, a Stargate there, start transitioning to Tempest, literally nobody will blame you. Nobody will think you're making a mistake, right?
Especially against that really heavy Liberator army. That's so good.
I know. It was also okay, one more thing. I really did not expect Innovation to literally, like, pick up his whole army and drop it in the main base of Classic. Especially when Classic had like 1 million cannons, saw it coming from a mile away. Innovation still just kind of inches Liberators forward in almost in like sheer defiance of like the Protoss as being a viable race, and just like drop it over. Just, like,
You're
put
playing
his
with
nose
fire
up
there.
at the stalkers, you know. What a power move. Anyways, let's go ahead and introduce our poor players spawning on Cyber Forest. Spawning in the bottom right hand position of Cyber Forest. Representing the blue Protoss player, it is our friend Classic.
And opposite to our poor player, our possibly a lot richer player after the show match, representing reciprocally Team Rec. I'm really sorry, I can't say it. I'm too English.
You're good.
He is the Red Terran player. It's Innovation.
Is it Team Reciprocity or something like that?
Yeah. It's so hard to say, man.
Reciprocity. There's so many syllables.
I just can't.
You sound like a kindergartner trying to say spaghetti, you know? Like,
I mean, I probably
how
can't
to
say
say
that
like
word
Piscetti.
Piscetti, yeah.
Piscetti. Reciprocity.
Reciprocity. I'm gonna be doing this all day now.
Reciprocity. Oh, good.
So, Classic has gone for the low ground gateway. He is able to be slightly more aggressive with his first adapt, maybe do a little bit of damage, maybe be frustrating, slow down the CC. Also with this probe, just slowing everything down. Very, very frustrating for the Terran player.
Yep, and I definitely do agree with the low ground wall off on this map. You get a very natural defense against Hellions, not only, but also the Reaper can't also jump up. onto this little location here anymore. So definitely very good building positioning by Classic. It's almost like he's like a top tier Protoss player or something.
Yeah, one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Never, you know, he's okay.
Yeah, he's at least alright. I think we can
Yeah,
agree on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Classic is at least alright. Let's see what tech he goes for. I'm actually super curious. He actually hasn't been mining all that much gas, it looks.
No. No,
they call
he's
me
only
crazy,
just gone
but
into
like,
it.
aren't you supposed
there
to
it
have
is,
more
there it
gas? Oh, it was a cyber first. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Alright, don't listen to me. INnoVation on his side of the map, gonna kind of get that bunker top of the ramp. Very defensive. Not super. Yeah, actually, I would actually say very defensive. You generally don't get bunkers this early, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think seeing that low ground adept, he knows the adept is going to come in. It is going to be annoying. He can attempt to finish the CC from the right-hand side, and the bunker will just about cover him.
You're right.
He is actually going to wait for his Marines to finish. Now he'll push out, and with the Marines and the Reaper, he is. Oh, there's two now.
Oh yeah. You know what's better than one adept? Two adepts.
Ah, wouldn't have guessed. I was going to say a Stalker.
But twice as good too.
Twice as good?
Yeah, twice as good. There's twice the amount of stuff, so twice as good.
This math is just too.
I know, just too
Too
big
above
brain
me.
for yeah, I play
Yeah,
Protoss,
too-
so you know, gotta be smart.
So did you?
So I think INnoVation finally gonna be able to go and clean up these adepts, finish his natural expansion. I mean, honestly, when all said and done, not really too much done by Classic there. I think he's just like trying to mix things up, get INnoVation off his normal rhythm. But gonna go and transition into Blink off of this again, which, you know, generally I would say on Cyberforce is an okay choice, especially considering the geography. But, you know, not amazing. You can't really, you know, exploit it too much, but there are some spots you can bring into the main. You can definitely kite a lot on this map, but problem is, INnoVation's pumping out some siege tanks right now.
INnoVation, without seeing this, is prepared. Maybe some top-notch research on his part. Maybe he knows how Classic plays on this map and doing
Yeah.
some studying.
Just opened the scroll of Classic and saw Blink Stalkers, and well, that's what you do against Blink Stalkers, you make siege tanks. Adept is going to go down as well, and so far, INnoVation, despite Classic's efforts, I don't think he's all too shook this game.
Me neither. And now, the next thing I'm curious is, do we see a command center?
Oh, Grant. Oh, Grant.
Because this is a good map for the way INnoVation has been playing.
No.
And against Blink, he's done it every time, and I think he's going to move
Yeah.
out with a small force for now, which will be very, very effective.
I was about to say, haven't you ever died to this before? It is going to be the Siege Tanks SCV push, which again, against Blink Stalkers generally performs exceptionally well, especially if it's not too slowed on down. Now, Classic has been making a lot of Stalkers actually, so not too bad here, and actually probably needs to keep these Marines behind the tanks there. Losing a lot of Marines on the way out, actually. Losing 8 Marines, kind of painful, but now that the siege up has started, it is... Shush, phone. Has started, it is going to be a little bit more difficult, but there's a lot of Stalkers here, Grant. I don't know.
This is so frustrating to deal with as a Protoss player. One of the tanks does go down, and that's huge. Viking has landed. If the second tank goes down, then this push is dead in the water. Oh, a lot of Stalkers have gone down on the other side, though.
I mean, Stalkers are just...
Tank does so much damage to these Stalkers.
You know what Stalkers are, Grant? Stalkers are just Protoss roaches. I mean, they try,
Do you know what happens
they try
in the
to look
meantime?
fancier with their, like... Yeah, here, they have 4 legs. That's pretty much the only thing, but I swear they're like Protoss roaches, because they look like they're good supply. You look like you have a lot of them, and then like in a couple of seconds you're like, oh wow, this is actually not all that good.
And during all of that, I don't know if you got the chance to see what INnoVation did, but he killed 10 workers.
I literally would have had zero idea if... Okay, 10 workers are going down, folks.
Do you know how he did it? He landed a Viking.
Landed a Viking. Yep. This is the life of a Protoss player, everybody. Alright, he's gonna go and get some revenge against his landed Vikings. But INnoVation
there is a
still
tank siege
adamant
up.
in holding, yeah, the middle of the map here. But I
Ooh.
think Classic is not very scared of this at all. Especially with Big Daddy Immortal here, no siree. We're just gonna go ahead and target down what they can before they get cleaned on up. It's a good play there by Classic.
This is kind of scary. INnoVation's army right now is 1 tank and 4 Marines.
And a dream.
He has no bunker. If Classic goes in right now, he has a good chance. The SCVs will need to be pulled.
Yeah, INnoVation knows this too. He is in a very vulnerable position right now.
His tank is very far back.
Yeah, most of his army is in production. So
Yeah.
that's a big problem. 2 forges coming down for Classic. Still no third base from INnoVation as we see 2 more racks. And possibly an SCV pull in the future as I peer into my crystal ball of, you know, caster knowledge here. Just a hunch, you know?
Classic blinks into the main. INnoVation is already pre-set up with a tank.
Oh yeah, like INnoVation is no fool. Actually, I may end up getting this tech lab, which would be a pretty nice pickoff. And yeah, it's actually going to go down, so nice little pick up there by Classic. Going to go ahead and delay combat shields, maybe force out a couple more Marines than he would have wanted to otherwise make.
Now, luckily for INnoVation, that isn't the building that was researching Stim. Stim definitely is the more important upgrade. He doesn't want to lose that. If you lose that as a Terran player, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, basically it's like lose Stim, lose the game, right?
Yeah.
But here we go. INnoVation actually gonna go ahead and go for that third base, so everyone's a little proud of him. You know, I'm definitely proud of him. His mother's proud of him. The cake is in the mail. But we still are probably gonna see some form of two-base aggression, especially with all these tanks, especially with this extra Varix production before this CC. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make some magic happen on that third.
And I don't think INnoVation planned to do this. I think INnoVation wanted to do a two-base all-in with the SCV pool.
Yeah, but he just got like very cleaned up in the beginning. That was a very nice hold by Classic. He did lose a lot of stalkers, but when you're trading out stalkers for tanks, you're generally a pretty happy camper. Classic, meanwhile,
INnoVation
yeah, go ahead.
scans the naturals, sees that there's only one gas on the natural, which is a tell that is probably a lot of zealots, that sort of Protospire style. Actually, Classic has just taken the gases on his third.
Yeah, he done duped
As a sort
him.
of fake. And is getting us Templar Archives very, very quickly. We'll probably see Classic take a fourth very soon. He's up to that sort of worker count where he wants to be looking. Currently up 11 workers. Now, a mule is worth about 3.5 workers, but mules aren't always there.
Yeah, mules are definitely always calling out for a pack of smoke, it seems, never really committing to that mineral line for too long. INnoVation now going to go and start his push. Do keep in mind, this is a very scary push, but I think it's been it's a little too late, I think. And yeah, INnoVation is going to go and set up defensively here, take his third base. It's actually Classic who's going to go ahead and posture on the opposite side of the map, and INnoVation with his Star Sense is going to go ahead and start getting a depot wall off. This is some nice play coming out from INnoVation.
Classic's army is very scary right now. He has better upgrades. He will, his 2-2 will be done as certainly before INnoVations. His INnoVations, if he starts straight away, is only at 1-1. Now there are going to be Liberators, and Liberators will be very, very good against us, against these Immortals and all of these Zealots. These Zealots do have charge, but this is a lot of tanks.
Yeah, this is a
Seven?
lot of have you ever seen 4 Immortals like this, Grant? I can't remember the last time I've seen 4 Immortals in a PvT.
I was going to say, only when I put them in a Zerg's Natural.
Yeah, where they belong. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot of armored ground hate coming up from Classic. Really wants to chew through those Marauders and Siege Tanks, and you can actually see that's pretty much INnoVation's army. It's like 13 Marauders and 8 Siege Tanks, and then a couple of Marines for good measure. But I think Classic hitting almost an anti-timing here. Should probably wait for that 2-2. If he has any Templar art, he can also push with Storm. I think that'd be a great choice.
I certainly think he's going to be looking for that timing. Yeah, sure, he's going to open up the rocks, he's going to open up his flank path, but he needs to maintain as much of his army as he can. Force out scans, that's very, very nice, because there is only 3 CCs right now. INnoVation's not been able to add on many more. INnoVation is getting a Ghost Academy. Now this is interesting, this is what I like to see.
But the Ghost Academy is not going to be out by the time that this push is going to hit, and by the time it hits, I think Classic, it was waiting for that 2-2, and he did end up getting it. So I mean, if there's Classic's turn to go ahead and make INnoVation feel like a fool, it is going to be now. It's going to go and set this nice big concave, but look at that entrenched
Look at this defensive
Liberators
position.
all over those tanks. You can't push into that.
How many tanks? We're looking at 9 tanks, sieged up, split very well. Sure, there are 2 attack paths, but you're still pushing into one of the best defensive positions I've ever seen. He's going to go for it.
Here we go. Grant's going to go and jump on in. The Immortals obviously doing insane amounts of damage, but so are these tanks just untouched in the back, blasting away Classic's armies, his hopes, his dreams, and any chance of him winning this game. So
now, INnoVation, I watched the top of that fight. INnoVation's bio was untouched. He completely rolled over the flank, engaged on the weaker side, as you always should with a flank.
Yeah. I kind of like how that other prism was coming across the map. I was like, whoa! And then immediately like turned on back as soon as you realized the whole army was dead. Oh,
and now ghosts are out. The upgrades for innovation, like we said, aren't as good. He certainly is lacking in that department, but he has ghosts, he has bio, he still has 6 tanks, and he is sieged up right now on this 3rd and 4th. And right now, Classic is sweating.
Oh, absolutely. He just lost a bulk of his army. I think looking back on that, I think Classic knows that Prod wasn't the best engagement. It was just such a entrenched position. He's going to go and try and break this. Down in armor supply. Here we go. Coming in from one angle.
Oh, the EMP was huge. The Archons instantly melt.
Yeah, that was like the best use of the word evaporation I've ever seen appropriate in my life. This Immortal probably going to go and go down as well. More innovation really wants it. But it's going to make its way up that
also picking up his Liberator in the mineral line. Huge flank actually coming in from Classic. Was very, very effective in shutting down the back of this push. Yeah. But there's still so many ghosts, there's so many Marines.
Yeah, and there's still an army that's kind of not being dealt with, that's in the natural event Classic, just kind of wrecking face. And Classic, it's almost like he doesn't want to go home because then he knows he'll have to deal with that army, just dreading coming back for the defense here. Meanwhile, back at home, innovation completely untouched, spending that money like a madman, rallying his units across the map as soon as they come out. And innovation picking up, boosting on off, and I think the follow-up push is gonna destroy Classic here. Just brutally. I mean, it's not a huge armory supply discrepancy, only 20, but still.
Oh, another big EMP does go down. The fight does start. The tank was in the front, which wasn't ideal, and innovation actually doesn't have that much here, and he's done it. He doesn't care what stage of the game it is.
More boys, more pull, more memes, but
and this is
this a mistake?
Amazing, because where's the splash damage? Okay, there's one Archon. That Archon has 100 shields right now instead of its standard 350. It's not too worried.
Technically splash damage. The best kind of splash damage. Short range and very big and vulnerable. Alright, so Innovation really wants this push to work. I kind of don't like if this push fails. Imagine like Innovation if the push fails and then you just like lost a million SCVs for nothing.
There are a lot of Zealots here. The Storm was very good, and there's that splash damage that we needed. The tank and the Liberators in the back are doing a lot of DPS. So actually, this is good for Classic. Classic took a good fight
for a second there, and then Classic's Innovation's army gives itself another stim. And it no longer is the case. For just a second, he has the equivalent amount of armor supply, but I think that was just for a second. Innovation too big, too strong. Even with the upgrade deficit, he's able to just barrel on through the Protoss player. I think Classic again, just absorbing the loss. Wondering if he can even get a game on this map against this monster of a Terran.
I think 4 more Zealots, and that was a different fight.
Yeah,
it was so close.
Down to the wire there in that last one. But when it comes down to the wire, Innovation's your guy, right? I mean, I don't want to be too critical here, but well, I just kind of want to see like how the series looks to me so far. It's kind of like everything that Classic's trying to do, Innovation does the opposite of and just beats him. So like Classic attacks, Innovation defends beautifully and kills him. Classic defends, Innovation attacks beautifully and just destroys him. I mean, like, what do you do as Classic to try and mix it up? Because you can't attack, you can't defend. Do you just like proxy 2 robos across the map every single game?
I certainly would.
I'm right. Well, I know you would. Maybe that was better left as a hypothetical.
Yeah, definitely. I really, I think everyone right here is hoping Classic can start to pull it back. Maybe in some strange universe, Classic is just, false sense of security. Innovation is sitting there. Wow, I'm so good. I'm at match point, and he is. And now Classic just wins 5 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not impossible. It has been done before. I'm not sure if against Innovation, but I have seen Pro Series with some really good players go 0-4 and then 5-4, or at least makes it competitive. The player comes back, wins 4 games, and then goes ahead and gets it ready. But it's a long road, perhaps the longest road that anyone has ever had to walk. If Classic wants to go ahead and bring this series back.
And we do have some good news. After the series, when all is said and done, we will be interviewing the winner with the help of a very lovely translator in Hutchinson. So stick around for that, guys, when it ends. Don't disappear. If this is the end, who knows? I'm feeling Classic's got this one. I think this is the one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Classic I would be very surprised if he doesn't get at least one win in this series, but hey, I guess anything can happen, right? So let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position of New Repugnancy, representing the Protoss race. He probably at least wants one win under his belt before this entire series ends. It is the one, the only, the Classic.
And in this top right corner, he is at 4-0 in this best of 9. 4 maps in a row. Making it look, I don't want to say making it look easy, but he's not making it look hard, that's for certain. Playing for Team Rec, he is a Red Terran, it's INnoVation.
How come you get introduced to winning player?
I know, it's just the way it's landed so far.
Yeah, you gotta be like the...
Next map, because I believe there'll be a next map. Scouts Honor.
I'm looking at this pylon, Grand, and I gotta say, your analysis is more than correct here. It is going to be a proxy gateway rush coming up from Classic, a 2-gate possibly. Yep, there we go. Alright, so this is the, you know how I said, like, I was talking to you earlier that, you know, in Parting versus TY, the last Pro Series we did, you know, I whispered, you know, Parting, hey, do a 4-gate, he says 4-gate trash, I asked him to do a 2-gate, and he obliged. That 2-gate game, I think he actually won. And this is why. 2-gates can be very... Like, we saw Classic trying to throw INnoVation off his tempo with that Cyber before Nexus. 2-gates can really, really stack on the pressure on a Terran player, really disrupt what they want to do without being overly committed. You can get Nexuses behind it, you can tech up behind it, so, you know, and I think if you're Classic, I think you're done trying to play Standard against INnoVation.
Oh, no. What's very important for INnoVation is to scout, and INnoVation hasn't SCV scouted this game.
No, not at all. He's going to go and rely on that Reaper. Low ground CC as well. What a baller.
Oh, the Reaper is actually... Does he see it?
Classic is so good.
No,
or INnoVation is so bad. I don't know which one it is. It's probably a mix of both. INnoVation doesn't see anything.
Oh. And
So
this now is very dangerous. Now, was there a Zealot, mate? There's not. It's just Stalkers. So a very big tell for this can be when the Zealot is walking across the map and it would have been caught on the way. Now the Reaper will come in and this Reaper is going to see no competition, no tech, nothing. And right now, INnoVation probably nervous. Does kill the first worker.
Reaper probably
He doesn't want to lose this Reaper. He needs every unit.
Oh, get it!
On the point!
Get it! Come on!
INnoVation's not
You
going
can do it! Oh, you can't do it.
Oh, and actually... Oh, he's going to lose it though. Oh, you really don't want to be losing
That's
any
actually good. So the
units. Right now,
Reaper... That can actually serve as a pinning unit. If you keep the Reaper alive, then the one Stalker has to stay home. But pretty much, Classic there just sacrificed 2 probes for a Stalker there. Now the push is starting to begin. Stalker's poking up the ramp. The bunker is just barely going to finish. So INnoVation has bought himself a little bit of time here.
and behind this, now we probably start to see some greed. We've seen the Twilight Council, we've seen the Nexus. Classic, right now, would be feeling good. Delay that CC. Force INnoVation on one base. Force him to have to do something he maybe doesn't want to do. He is going to start tank production relatively soon, and he is building the CC on the high ground, which is definitely the right choice.
For sure. And I think that Classic himself knows that it's probably not meant to be. There's no more stock group production. So like I said, this can be that rhythm build that just kind of, does enough to disrupt your opponent if you really feel like you need to do that. And also very easy to transition out of. So glad to see that Classic is following my caster knowledge there. So it makes me look good. Thank you, Classic.
And it is what I thought it was going to be. INnoVation behind this, Cloak Banshees. It's been instantly scouted!
So
INnoVation left his wall down.
Adam actually died there. So probably no more Cloak Banshees if I were to take a guess. What do you think, Grant? I mean, he hasn't cancelled it yet.
He's going to do it. I mean, just with control, just by having that fantastic control, Cloak Banshees, even when scouted, can be very useful. Luckily for INnoVation right now, he has killed the pressure. He is able to move out, he can take his natural. It is behind Classics. But this game isn't... I mean, there's no... Once mules come into play, it's going to be very even. INnoVation will probably be able to pick up on that proxy pretty soon once his tanks are out and go and deal with that. But I think he's definitely looking to get a few workers with his Cloak Banshee. Now, does he make one or does he make two?
I think he's going to make two. Here's the thing. Not only do I see that he's queued up two, which is kind of cheating, but here's the thing. There are these kind of pushes where you get a couple of Siege Tanks and Banshees, and you just kind of push across the map as kind of a death ball almost. And it's actually really effective against Blink-heavy compositions. And we've seen Classic really favor his Blink this series. I mean, I think in almost all of his matches except for one, he has opened up with Blink. So Or
Now an observer is out.
Maybe, I don't know, but he opens up with blink a lot. So these banshees combined with these tanks could be very deadly for Classic if INnoVation does decide to go the route. It seems it's going to go for the more harassy side of things, so probably not going to be seeing anything like that. And Classic may be getting one more chance to show his macro against possibly one of the best macro players in the entire StarCraft 2 universe.
And things right now for us, wanting more games, looking pretty good. Classic has observers everywhere. Another Coat Banshee does come out, loses half its health before it's able to do anything. The one in the main poked his head in, saw everything that was there, decided to leave. He is probably going to poke and prod at natural at the same time. There is going to be no damage, barring a miracle.
Yeah, it's incredible. Somehow, when you see something coming like 2 minutes ahead of time, one of the best Protoss players in the world was somehow exactly prepared for it. Who would have thought? Huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Observer does go down, so INnoVation able to deny that vision from his natural, and there is nothing in the main, so that's certainly nice for INnoVation. He is now getting a Raven too, so he can keep that down and get those anti-army missiles, or that turret harass we've also seen him go for.
Oh yeah, that killed 10 probes that I didn't even know about. Maybe even Classic didn't even know about that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using 10 probes, it's likely.
Yeah, except for you. Alright, lots of stalkers again for Classic. I think we're starting to see that Classic really likes his blink stalkers, so gonna go ahead and walk across the map. The real question is how quickly he's gonna transition, and actually here's what he's gonna be doing. He's not gonna go for the quick third base like he's been doing. He's not gonna be greedy into another forge. He's gonna go up to 6 gateways and play this incredibly safely, delay that third by a lot, and just really wants to squash that push as soon as it moves across the map from INnoVation.
And Classic's army supply, although it's low right now, he is about to explode. And with 5 more gates in production, Swag.
That's a lot of gates.
And a Templar Archives. Okay, we're going to see a 2-base all in.
We may actually, yeah. You know what he can do? If INnoVation's vision and his scouting isn't all that amazing, if INnoVation moves across the map, this could be one of those builds where you just kind of let the Terran attack into you, absolutely consume their army. Like, consume their army. And then you just go and move across the map and win. Questionable blink there by Classic, but it does end up finding an okay amount of damage, but losing 4 stalkers for that. Definitely. 4
stalkers there for only...
like a Marauder, a couple of Marines maybe?
Yeah, he didn't kill any workers. The workers that died actually had died earlier from that Reaper.
Yeah, doing some very Haas-like blinks there is Classic, but gonna have to really calm his mindset if he wants to go ahead and keep blinking this game. And I do like this. Just use it, you know, pick off a couple units, throw the push down. INnoVation's moving across the map. Storm is around halfway done, and I think these stalkers. Oh, more boys pulled. Gotcha. That's like what, the 3rd millionth time this series. Anyways, more boys being pulled, which means Classic. All he has to do is defend, and he should be able to win this game. But that's the tricky part, isn't it, Grant?
That's very tricky. Now, he does have everything he needs. He's buying time. Time is very important. He needs Storm.
Yep.
He has the gateway count required. He's going to try and buy a bit more time. Storm isn't quite done. We're talking seconds. Oh, the anti-armor missile. Sends everything to the Shadow Realm.
But this is good. He has 8
what a Storm!
Production. Storm is, like I was talking about, absolutely incredible against these 2-base pushes. Siege tanks not stopping them.
At the same time, in the main, Banshees.
Yep, Banshees. The Banshees that I thought were going to do literally nothing has killed 16 workers so far. And this is just the life that we live in. Lots of siege tanks after your class is going to go and collapse on this army. I think he has a fair chance to win this. Let's see. Does going to go and rush to the front. Splash damage all over his friendly units. And I think Classic is going to be able to clean up the army as INnoVation runs back home. Tail tucked between his legs. Stemmed units. Running out of stem. Having to stem again. But that kills them, so they can't really stem. And then they just die anyways. I say you should be able to stim units to death, but whatever.
Because we've just basically rewinded 5 minutes, but with tech. Both players now down to 30 workers or below. Banshees have come back in.
Yep. Key difference here for Classic is that he does have his 3rd base up, but here's the thing. I don't think he can really afford to saturate that with probes, especially considering how much damage these Banshees really shouldn't have done, but actually did. And INnoVation is going to go for a nice big fat drop here, showing that he is not afraid to abuse Terran in any way he can.
And this drop could be very, very scary. Now there are There is a shield battery in the main, but very few units, and there is no vision along this path. This will be seen at the last moment. And Classic is out on the map. We could end up with a base trade scenario. What does INnoVation have at home? He does have 2 tanks anymore in production? No, not right now. He has a few Marauders. Not enough. Oh, he does have a small, like sort of 8 bio drop, which is going to shut down that proxy center. Oh, he's going to go out on the map with it. This may get caught.
Maybe up. I think
INnoVation needs to boost.
Yeah, recall.
The boost is available.
Yeah, immediately there.
That's a
Classic gonna go and follow the old adage of never base trade a Terran. And it's gonna be working out pretty good for him. He actually cleans up a decent amount of bio for 4 probes. Obviously, you don't really want to lose any of your probes, as trading bio for probes is generally a nice thing to do. And but it's not a bad defense. Go ahead and start this out. INnoVation now gonna go ahead and drop over by the 3rd base. Gonna go ahead and kill a Templar so hard. My God.
And more work is going down. INnoVation now killed 27 this game.
Yeah. What a horrible amount. 27 to the 23 actually, so not too bad.
No, not too bad.
4. Oh.
Classic's army does get the storm done with these zealots, and these units will disappear. INnoVation does pick up. Oh, and the full medevac instantly targeted. Every unit from that drop dies. Classic is still so in this. This game is still so close. Let's take a look at upgrades.
Okay.
Both players pretty even. Classic going for armor, which is very, very good when you've got this many bio units. And INnoVation getting that +1 weapons. INnoVation's armor is very, very close to finishing, which will put him in that lead. And he's just picking off workers, just 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, Classic just really delaying that +2 armor as he just did not feel safe getting it. And, you know, of course, who could blame him? When you're getting dropped by one of the best Terrans in the world, you kind of have other priorities than making your units a little bit tougher. INnoVation is going to go for Boy Pull Part 2, SCV.
And this is scary.
This is, oh my God, I accidentally activated Siri, what the hell? Alright, here's the thing, I don't really like SCV pulls against Storm. I think that, you know, against Colossus they took a little bit of damage, against Storm we just kind of point it up Marines and then they die. But it does more than nothing, so I'll give him that. It's 83 to 75 army, and with the added support of the ramp.
Oh my God, that first storm is absolutely massive.
Yeah, the storms are huge, zoning everything away from the tanks. He's not going to target it down though. This Immortal needs to get on that tank. It's dealing a lot of damage, and it does end up going on down. All the SCVs pulled go down as well. And I think INnoVation may have blundered this. He was in a great position. He was doing a lot of damage to Classic, but for some reason he just kind of pulled the boys. I guess he didn't have a 3rd. That probably had at least something to do with it. And yeah, I think finally Classic GG is called. He's gonna go ahead and get on the board. Folks, the comeback starts now.
Absolutely unreal. Both players trading blows like Rocky Balboa and... Think, Grant, you can do this. And
I've forgotten too, so you're all in a row. Rocky Balboa.
We're gonna do this.
Then
We're
Russian.
gonna do this. And Apollo Creed!
Creed! Oh, you're right. God. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And while we have a moment, whilst we catch our breath, I think, Swag, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about 24-hour fitness. What do you think of that?
Oh, yes, by all means.
So, let's take a minute to talk about 24-hour fitness. First of all, thank you so much for those guys for sponsoring events like this. It wouldn't happen without them. 24-hour fitness is dedicated people to helping them to achieve their fitness goals. Don't look like me. You can go to 24-hour fitness and you can look like Swag. They have 436 locations nationwide in the US, 238 in Cali alone. If you're in Cali, check it out. You can choose to join one club or all the clubs. They're open 24 hours a day. So if you're a nervous nerd like myself, you don't need to go in the day. Go in 4 in the morning. Be on your own. Get your sweat on. Check it out. 24-hour fitness will help you achieve your goals. Look great. Summer's coming up. Get that beach body. So yeah, thank you to them guys. I'm sure Swag's in there every day. I can tell.
Guys, sun's out, guns out, and guns don't come from nowhere. I think Grant hit it spot on. And guys, you can actually get a free 7-day pass if you follow our Matcherino link. You can go ahead and complete one of the sponsor quests over there. It's generally something super simple like subscribe to a YouTube channel or do something, you know, relatively innocuous, and you get a free 7-day trial at any 7-hour fitness. So go ahead and check it out and get the body that you wanted on your time.
That's amazing, Swag.
Oh, thank you, Grant.
Everyone's going to look so good.
Everyone's going to look delicious come this summer. Oh, that's the sound of a lobby entering noise? I think it was.
Oh, yes it is.
Are we ready? I think
I am certainly
so.
ready.
Oh, this is... Oh, here's the reason. Oh, never mind. They're both just gonna play blue and red. You know, I would want one of these games to be like purple and orange, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
Colors a
would, but
bit.
these players, I think because of things like the GSL, they make you play blue and red. They're just
Yeah.
used to doing so. They may have it changed so they see the different colours, but we won't get to.
Maybe. That sucks.
I reckon INnoVation is sitting there in his own computer. Everything's bright pink keyboard.
Yeah, like what if that's actually how he plays? Like bright pink keyboard, there's like neon light showing around him, like
Yeah.
K-pop blasting in the background, a bunch of like
Oh, that's definitely the case. I've seen a stream.
plushy kitties everywhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Anime on his other screen.
Oh, Alright.
Alright, I'm going to let you introduce the winning player this time.
Alright. Spawning in the bottom right hand position of Kairos Junction, winning the last game, and possibly this series, representing the Protoss Rays, it is Classic. Otherwise known as the winning player.
Yep, won that last game. Traded blows with Apollo Creed and came out on top in the fourth round. Fifth round.
Oh yeah, of course. Who could
Fifth
forget
round.
the fourth, fifth round knockout?
And in the top left, playing for Team Rec. Lost the last game, won the previous 4. Definitely not out of this. Definitely still feeling it. He is the blue Terran player. It's INnoVation. Okay, now. I don't know if we'll see another proxy. I certainly would be excited to see one. It worked out decently for Classic in the last game. He was able to do some damage and not take too much of his own. He is probe scouting and is going to go and do his usual harassment against the SCVs that are making those tech buildings. And this is just forces so much APM, forces you to think. It's so frustrating when you're the Terran player. You just want to build your little building so you can make your little units, and you've got a little floaty yellow boy coming on and electrocuting you.
I like how you're attacking like the units Terrans make so much right now. It's like, build your little Marines, you stupid Reapers, double the add-ons. No,
Is it obvious we both play Protoss?
Yeah, I mean Protoss for like. Well, it's obvious that I play Protoss because I'm an undying support for Classic. But Mr.
very true.
INnoVation's gonna win all the way over here. You wouldn't know.
I actually have a Protoss tattoo.
A Protoss tattoo? Okay, yeah, that's something more hardcore than me. Yeah, you got me there. I can draw
Behind
one
my
out
ear.
with a marker though. Don't think I won't.
Oh, please do!
Oh yeah, I'll get those like neon colors. Not even the regular ones, like the ones that
Yeah.
like come in like a special container. I don't know, like really,
Yeah,
really bright, but like smudge easily with other colors, and they never really stay good for long.
I'm challenging you to a marker show match.
Best
can
of
have the
one.
best
I don't
Protoss
need
art.
many games
Best
to
of
show
one.
them who's best, Grant. I only
Yeah,
need
judged
one.
by Classic.
Alright.
The Reaper has come in as being frustrating. It will take a little bit of damage, but it will just
Yeah.
fly itself away with its unlimited jetpacks. I want to know where the fuel's coming from.
Getting us little scouting information, seeing the natural, but not actually seeing the robotics facility, which is for some reason only known to Classic himself on the low ground. You know,
Sick.
low ground is generally a pretty safe spot for your buildings, but it's not the safest, and it's gonna get scouted very easily. Maybe Classic just doesn't care though. I like this Robo. This is what I've been saying that he should be trying to do. You know, either throw INnoVation off his game, don't let him play macro, or, you know, open up with those Colossus. Like, if you open up with a Robo, get a couple observers, go straight to Colossus, or even Disruptor drops, that's like a very safe way to open up.
And I also think the
considering
two-base
INnoVation's aggression.
potential of it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you stall in, you go up to sort of, I think it's 5 or 6 gates. You get your Robo Bay, which he is now doing. You can hit such a crisp timing with sort of maybe +1 weapons and do so much damage, if not outright kill your opponent.
I'm
Now,
sure.
INnoVation behind this has been very standard. He's gone for his I99 111 build.
Yeah, no,
Break
go
up the
for
gem.
it. Oh,
The Reaper did come in. Now, how much did that Reaper see? Let's find out.
let's
The Reaper
find
did
out.
see the Robo. Oh, it didn't see the Robo. It was so close.
It's out by Robo Bay though, which is
Okay.
also curiously, puzzlingly on the low ground. So that's also a thing. I guess he wants to keep his main nice and open for drops to defend against
Yes.
them, but you also kind of clunk up your natural. So tit for tat there. I think he's actually going to go for disruptor drops by the looks of it. Am I right? Yeah, because the gas timings were a little off. You know, he got the you know, Warpism out first, so definitely gonna go for the disruptor drop style. I like that he's mixing it up. I think that the standard blink stock will play, that's not going to work against the INnoVation, right? So,
No.
you know, if INnoVation thinks it's Colossus and all of a sudden the Disruptor comes out of nowhere and blows up his entire army, maybe moving on to a game number 7. Who knows?
INnoVation very, very smartly is getting a Raven. And I don't know if you've seen what happens when a Raven disables Disruptor, but I've seen some of the hypest moments in StarCraft 2 history where a big Disruptor ball's on top of the army, you're terrified for the Terran player, and then the disable comes at the last moment, and it doesn't go off. That ball will not go off.
Oh, I've not only seen it, Grant, I've lived that. I've lived that. Not on the Raven side, of course. I mean, I would get so frustrated when that happens to me, but let's hope that... Or also, if you like disable the Prism and then you just like blow it up, that's also really nice.
Yeah.
Lots of cool things that can be done here, but INnoVation, let's go ahead and defend for now. Oh, use that auto turret. That's just mean. Kill that observer.
But with two Disruptors, having no energy on that Raven is actually really, really scary.
Yeah, good split though coming up from INnoVation to go and try and mitigate damage. Meanwhile, back at home, Colossus are coming on out, so it's not a huge committal to Disruptors, just enough to drop, enough to make INnoVation start to think.
Oh, and no shot was fired.
No shots fired. I think he could have like tried, right, to at least get a couple of minutes there. Better than nothing, right? But I guess he wants to play extraordinarily safe here.
And now INnoVation is flying across the map with 2 Widow Mines.
Yeah, it's gonna go on a scenic route across Carriage Junction, and you know what's not to like. There's pillars, there's spiky little tree noodle things. I mean, like it's honestly a nice place. Outvacation here, if I could.
Yeah, there's little carts filled with minerals. I'm not sure why the players aren't taking them.
Yeah, I mean, there's also Vespene gas over there. Imagine, like, if you just picked those up, made a bunch of high tempo, and moved across the map. I mean, classic. Come on, no wonder he's only Masters League. INnoVation, like, picking those up, like, all day. Oh. Don't tell me he's gonna try and... Oh,
okay.
No! Oh,
he will lose it.
No, what? Oh, did you see that? He could have gotten the Prism with that. Oh, Widow Mine. Oh, that's
So
painful if you just
scary.
targeted right. All that targeting the mineral lines, and then when it actually comes time to target something important, he's like, oh, guess I'm gonna stop there. Not a big deal,
Now
though.
Colossus are up, and Classic's army is starting to get very scary. He doesn't have his upgrades yet, +1 just finishing. INnoVation has got his, so no real timing hit here, but Classic certainly be very frustrating. Where are his Disruptors? They're still out on the map, towards that south side.
Yeah.
And what is INnoVation's plan? INnoVation is pushing out. The Thermal Lance will be done. There are 3 tanks here, which are quite good. The Raven does have a lot of energy. I don't think it has enough for 2 disabled. Oh no, they're 50 energy each, right?
Yeah, I think so. So the disable should actually be pretty big. Look at that.
No, they're 100 energy. Okay.
That's not the position you want to be in, but there's more costs.
The force field wasn't great, and INnoVation is now pushing in. The Colossus, 1 will go down. The active one, a 3rd one is out. Okay, the Colossus will just about survive. INnoVation kind of stuck behind this force field still, but there will be no more. And now the army is in position. The tank is firing. It is hitting that Colossus. It does finally go down. This is a very close fight for both these players.
Not going to do anything. And yeah, is there any Raven actually out anymore? No. So
no, the Raven was picked off straight away.
Yeah, so this is a very positional army from Classic, but also from INnoVation, so we can't really push in, you know, super fast. He has to kind of take a little bit slow, which is not what he wants to be doing. He throws down the 3rd base, gonna go in and get a nice conclave, gets another Colossus for himself, doing pretty well in that regard. And, Disruption Nova getting 3 Marauders there. INnoVation not paying attention. Another Nova gonna go ahead and get destroyed.
Oh, he picks it up in time. That's such a hype thing to see.
Oh yeah, just like when he commits to it and he's like bets all of his life on
that. It makes my stomach drop, you know?
Yeah, just a quick turn, you know, like someone's turning a knife in your gut, like
yeah.
Especially when
the INnoVation has his 3rd building, but he's certainly behind again in economy. INnoVation very happy, seemingly in this series, to play that position.
Oh, for sure. Oh, the charges finish up as well, so Classic can actually push in here and do some damage. Siege tanks obviously don't care about Colossi that much.
Meanwhile, INnoVation has a big drop.
Yeah, but all the bios in the main base of Classic is what I was gonna say. And yeah, INnoVation actually just gonna go ahead and okay, I guess he's gonna pick on up. And the army is about to respond there, so good choice coming up from Classic. And INnoVation is doing something kind of interesting. So instead of going for Vikings, as is the traditional counter to Colossus, he's just going for, instead of making stuff that counters the Colossus, make stuff that Colossus aren't really good against. So,
Yeah.
like Liberators and Siege Tanks. If your army is Liberators and Siege Tanks, Colossi are going to be kind of trash. Oh my god!
Very nice fight right now for Innovation. One of the Colossus being forced to be picked up. Disruptor Nova does come out, get a very good connection, but all of these Zealots are now starting to die. There's very little ground left.
Oh my god, there's only like a couple of Stalkers that just got warped in to defend these Colossus, and going for them. The game would have been over.
Comes Innovation. He has 6 tanks here right now.
Yeah, I don't... he really just needs a big round of charge lots. But then again, there's also like 4 medevacs.
Oh, what a huge disruption
Big
Nova!
disruption Nova. So there's almost no support for these units, but there almost doesn't need to be. With all these tanks and fire streaming across the map, Classic is finding himself in a very scary position against Innovation.
And Innovation's army, very tanky. He's just playing Marauders and Mech.
I don't like it. Did you see what Classic just did? He just said, you know what, I'll go ahead and put myself in the choke point and wall myself off at the same time. How about that, Siege Tank Liberator army? Innovation says, no thanks, and steps into the third phase. I don't like that, but you know, it's a hard decision to make. Classic trying to catch reinforcements with these charge routes, doing a good job. The Warpin at the natural is going to go, or at the third, going to go ahead and try and take care of these bio, but already 13 probes.
Look how many workers went down, 13. And Innovation's economy now, not behind, ahead.
Yeah.
He's able, even with his warping rounds, he's able to fight this, he's able to take this, and Classic cannot move out. The only thing Classic could do would be recall to this third position. He has actually chosen to go across the map with a warping instead, and that is doing a lot of damage and evening up those workers.
Oh, absolutely. Like, the best things you can do when you're getting attacked is to attack back, but Classic, look at all this useless army here just sitting there doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
I think he's waiting for the gateways to die, but maybe, you know, I guess, you know, there is no rush. You can take your time with this build. There's no rush to, like, go ahead and try and engage into everything, especially now that there's only 2 Marauders to support all of this. But, oh, look at all these reinforcements, though, streaming across the map.
More
They're
tanks,
done with the war
more
prisoners.
Marauders,
Yep.
more Liberators.
Yeah, they're ready to really cause a lot of pain to Classic.
Flank.
Here he is. He's going to make his stand. It's now or never. Colossus is going to go ahead and start targeting down these siege tanks. Stark is getting shredded by all this technology of the Terran player, and it's just too much. GG is
GG!
And Grant, Innovation is going to win 5-1 against Classic. That just looks like... You know what? He made it look like Innovation was really just facing off against an actual just Masters level player there. I mean, Classic could just do nothing in that game.
This is the Innovation everyone wants to see. Innovation, previously the best player in the world. He has just beaten arguably the best Protoss in the world 5-1. He lost 1 series with a bit of cheese, a bit of chaldea. My favourite thing. And now, I think we will be looking to get Innovation in for a small chat.
Oh yeah, the winner's interview. Oh, gonna be super fun.
Yeah, it will be incredible.
Oh, let me see. Do we have to go do anything special? I guess we're just jumping to the Classic versus Innovation channel on Discord. Oh crap, now they can't see your face. No. Hang on. Oh, there you are.
Don't worry. Let's take a look at this channel.
Okay.
And let's see if we can get the lovely Hutchinson in and the lovely Innovation in.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hopefully everyone is around and ready. We'll keep an eye. Guys, thank you for watching today. If you have been watching, we really appreciate it. It's been an incredible match. Innovation has just stomped, taken his the lion's share of a $300 prize pool, plus everything in Matcherino. So he's made a good amount of money.
Oh yeah, pretty penny here or there for sure. And if you guys are interested, we are going to stick around for a winner's interview, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Mr. Grant?
We certainly were planning to.
Certainly are planning to. So, go ahead and stick around, folks. The cast is not over just yet. Oh, actually, let me see. Is Classic? Yeah, Classic just kind of said GG and left. Okay. I was wondering if he was going to throw like any shade at Innovation, but no, that seems more like a parting thing to do.
I think... Yeah, definitely a very parting thing to do. I need to leave the arcade
parting
channel.
Parting with Steel was so fun. Oh my god. Alright, here we are.
Okay. We have a channel with Hutchinson.
Yep, super rockin'. Let me see if I can go ahead and... it should be fine. People can only see like half your face and a lot of chat, but that's okay. We're good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. They know you're there. I can like spin you around once in a while. All right, I'm thinking of interesting things to say.
Yeah, me too. I should have planned this one.
Yeah, I should have been born an interesting person. Kava.
Ça va? How are you in French?
Ça va? Oh, ça va. Oh my gosh, you remind me of like all the French high school weebs I had in my high school. They would like go around in the hall going ça va, and they'd go ça va to each other, and it was just like...
It was mandatory in the UK.
Do you have to do French?
You have to do French. Well, when I was young, many years ago,
Right.
yes.
Was there any alternative, like French or Spanish, for like French or German or something?
So everyone did French up until like they were, I guess, 14 or 15, and then you could choose to do French, German, or Spanish, or more, or a combination.
Okay. Yeah. I had to take 4 years Spanish myself, so, and then like I don't know. And then I like lost like 90% of it, and then I met some Spanish people, and then I had to like get 90% of it back like really fast. Yeah,
We are going to start the call.
Yep. All right, we're gonna go ahead and join all the popular people on call. Here we go.
Hello.
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 Hello, INnoVation. 감사합니다.
Hello. 네, 감사합니다. Thank you.
Good games. Good games.
Good games. All right. You want to
Just
go
wait
ahead and
for
go
Hajin?
first, or should I?
We'll wait for Hajin to join the call.
Oh, that's right. She's not here yet. Okay. Wait for Hajin.
Oh, Hajin.
Ooh. Terran OP.
No.
No.
Terran so OP.
INnoVation OP.
No, both OP.
Oh, there we are.
There she is.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Hajin.
Hi, Ajin.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We really enjoyed those games. So,
Well, he's good. I'm sleep deprived like hell, but you know he's
Yeah.
good.
What time
Yeah,
is
I'm
it in your time zone?
Oh, it's like 4:30 in the morning over here. How about over there?
Yeah. In Europe, it's almost 2 p.m. It's fine.
yeah, it's
That sounds pleasant. Okay.
I'm in Paris, I mean.
almost 1 p.m. for me. I'm in the UK.
Oh, must be nice.
It is nice. Sunny day. Okay, so let's get some questions for INnoVation.
All right.
INnoVation, you just won 5-1 against maybe the best Protoss in the world. At a time when Terrans are struggling, do you feel confident in the TVP matchup right now?
이준호 선수 축하드립니다. 이제
네네.
김도우 선수와 5대1로 이기셨는데 사실
네.
김도우 선수가 요새 제일 잘하는 토스잖아요. 그리고 요새 보면은 약간 테란들이 많이 힘들어 하는데 어떠신가요? 약간 토스전에 좀 자신감이 있으신가요?
자신은 없었는데 질 게임도 이기고 막 좀 그래가지고 그래서 이긴 것 같아요.
Well, I was not really confident, but I don't know how, but I ended up winning games that I had to lose, and I think that's why I won the whole series.
Oh,
Fantastic.
So it's more like a classic loss than an INnoVation one thing. Oh, makes sense. All right. So here is one question, kind of concerning mech. So, INnoVation, in your stream and in some of the GSL game, you have shown mech play against Protoss. However, today you did not use any mech against Classic whatsoever. So, did you come to a conclusion that mech isn't really as good as you previously thought it was against Protoss? Or why didn't you want to go ahead and do mech against Classic this series?
이진호 선수님 방송을 보거나 아니면 GSL 때도 약간 토스전에서 메카 빌드를 보여주셨는데 오늘은 전혀 하지 않으셨어요. 그게 왜 그런가요? 이제 해보다 보니까 약간 메카가 약간 좋지 않구나라고 느끼셨나요?
메카닉은 맵에 따라 좀 다른 것 같고요. 근데 좀 안 한 지 오래돼가지고 그냥 안 썼어요.
I think the mech build depends really on the map, and I haven't practiced that build for a while, so that's why I haven't played mech today.
Okay, makes sense.
My next question would be, in the GSL 2 weeks ago, Patience was able to dominate Terrans by making a lot of adepts and things like that. Were you surprised not to see that style today?
아, 이제 GSL 2주 전에 조지현 선수가 그 어댑트가 잠시 한국말로 뭐죠? 그 유닛 이름이 갑자기 기억이 안 나네. 어댑트 뭔지 알죠?
어댑터요?
잠시. Sorry, I just forgot how to say adept in Korean. It happened. Wait, sorry. 그 토스 사도.
아, 예.
네, 2주 전에 조지현 선수가 사도를 많이 만들어서 이겼는데 혹시
네네.
오늘 약간 그런 빌드를 예상하셨었나요?
아니요, 그건 아니고 도우 형이 약간 스타일이 확고해가지고 그냥 그런 스타일은 아니라고 생각해서 생각은 안 했어요.
Oh, well, Classic has a really particular style on its own, so I didn't really expect to see some adepts today.
Okay, gotcha. And then one quick question I do want to ask. It's nice to get a pro player's perspective on this. There has been a lot of talk about Protoss being a little bit favored in the TVP matchup, stronger than Terran's players. And I just want to get INnoVation's opinion on that. Does he think it's true? And if so, what are the problems that Terrans are facing off against Protoss?
요새 이제 프로씬에서 되게 이제 토스 테란전에 말이 되게 많아요. 막 토스가 너무 세다 그런 얘기가 많은데 이제 이신영 선수의 의견을 좀 묻고 싶네요. 이제 토스전 할 때 어떤 점이 까다롭고 진짜 토스가 센 것 같은지 밸런스가 안 맞는지.
뭐 개인적으로는 토스전이 좀 어렵기도 하고 또 할 것도 토스가 굉장히 많아가지고 토스가 좀 더 좋은 것 같긴 해요.
좀 더 구체적으로 얘기해 줄 수 있어요? 어떤 점이 센지 토스가?
할 것도 많고 조합도 갖춰지면 힘들고 후반 가도 불리하고 초중반에도 좀 좋은 느낌이 없어요.
So indeed, in TVP, I think it's harder for the Terrans because the Protoss can have many different builds. They can have really various compositions, and actually in late game they're so strong. But the thing is, they're also strong in early and mid. So that's why I think TVP is pretty hard.
Just strong all around. Gotcha.
I think one more question each would be fair. So my question is, going back to the GSL, Maru unfortunately was eliminated. Is this INnoVation's year? Do we see the INnoVation, the best player in the world? Are we going to see that this year?
다시 좀 GSL 얘기를 할 텐데 조성주 선수가 32강에서 떨어졌어요. 그럼 혹시 이번 시즌이 이신영 선수의 찬스인가요? 약간 좀 우승각 보이시나요?
이번 시즌이 그래도 좀 그나마 좀 약하다고 생각을 해서 우승하기에는 제일 좋은 기회인 것 같아요.
Yeah, indeed. I think the players who are still in the tournament, they are weaker than usual. So I think there might be a chance that I win the whole tournament.
Yeah, that's what we
Weaker
want.
than usual. Okay. All right. Well, I think I have one last question here. It's gonna be not a super loaded question. Just something particular we noticed about INnoVation's playstyle is that he went for a lot of liberators in his games versus Classic, and I was wondering if he thinks that is more of an ideal way to face off against Protoss, very liberator heavy, or was it more of a reaction to what Classic was doing?
이제 마지막 질문으로 이제 이신영 선수 약간 오늘 플레이 스타일에 대해서 얘기를 할 텐데요. 오늘 해방선을 되게 많이 하셨어요. 그게 약간 토스전에서 좋다고 생각하셔서 그런가요? 아니면 그냥 오늘 약간 김도 선수 빌드 맞춤인가요?
맞춤도 아니고 좀 좋은 것 같지도 않은데 유령에 손이 좀 안 가가지고 유령 컨이 너무 어렵더라고요. 그래가지고 좀 편하게 하려고 해방선 했는데 좋은 것 같진 않아요.
So I don't think it's particularly good in TVP, and it was not really against Classic. It's more that when you go Ghost, there are so many micro to do. I just went for Libertas because there's less micro to do. It was the easy solution.
There's just less stuff to do with them.
Exactly.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Thank you. INnoVation.
Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank you very much. And while we have a moment, I do want to say thank you Thank you, Hutchinson. If you guys haven't, please check out her stream. It's amazing. It's so much fun, apart from when she plays League of Legends. But yeah, check out Hutchinson. She does so much for Alpha. She does so much for everyone. And she let me win a game of Overwatch on her account once.
Oh, the real MVP, Hajin.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Bye,
okay. Thank you, Hajin. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the sunshine.
Yep, always a pleasure. All right.
And there we are, 5-1. A complete surprise, a landslide. I'll say it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Victory for INnoVation, guys. This has been so much fun. Swag, I've had so much fun casting with you. I really have.
Oh yeah, it has been an absolute blast, my friend from the UK. Definitely, like you said, an unexpected result in the 5-1. Definitely a lot of unexpected answers from INnoVation in that interview. But I think it was a very good interview, a very good series, and overall, another successful Alpha Pro series.
Oh, massively successful. Let's just take one more moment just to say thank you to everyone that lets us be here. I want to say thank you to Afrika for letting us use their platform, for supporting us so much. I want to thank everyone in Alpha, Sushi especially, a man after my heart. He has so much time, so much passion, so much energy. He's up. He never sleeps from what I can tell. Thank you. Thank you to our sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness and GameStop. They're the reason we can do this. They're the reason INnoVation eats tonight. Thank you to you, Swag.
Oh, no problem. Thank you to our casters as well. Thanks for being up at this. Well, I was going to say thanks for being up at this ungodly hour, but it's like 2 o'clock there, so I don't care. But yeah, definitely everyone came together. Everyone made a good tournament, and overall, everyone had a good time. Folks, I am Swagar. That was Grant. Together, we are so Grant. And we hope you enjoyed our casting, and we hope you enjoyed this Classic vs. INnoVation series. Be sure to follow and up the stream for more amazing StarCraft 2 community content. And you folks, take care.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, good one.
Nice.
Alright. Oh,
went really well,
God.
dude.
You know what? It's actually still dark outside. Is the thing.
Yeah, go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. That's what I'm thinking. Cause generally,
Definitely.
like when I'm like marginal about it, like it's like the sunrise is coming up and like roosters are crowing.
Probably got an hour or so. Go to sleep.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get some shut eye.
Thank you, dude.
I'll catch
Thank you
later.
so much. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
Have a
man.
nice night.
It was a blast. Catch you later.
You too. Bye.